All right, welcome everybody. Thanks for sticking around. Rather large crowd today. I want to thank you guys for coming in. We have Outlaw Ron Bass, Paul O'Bara, Ugandan Giant Kamala, Mr. Technical, the winner, Barry Horowitz, and Mr. Cat Miller. These guys were kind enough, flying in with crazy weather last night, delayed, missing flights. But they're here for you guys. Let's open up the floor. Who has the first question? Come on.
Mine's for Barry Horowitz. You worked in WWE for a really long time as, I guess, you got to push at one point and stuff like that. But did any guys ever try to take liberties with you in the ring at any time?
Somebody try to shoot on me?
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't work for WWE.
WWF.
Okay.
You got pushed out the door.
Yeah, I did. Let me think.
They're better already.
No, not really.
We did today. What you talking about?
No, not really.
I thought the Iron Sheik shot on him one time.
No.
I can't believe it.
No, that didn't happen. No, I can't remember anybody offhand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember somebody?
No, I don't. I just wondered.
Oh, okay. 'Cause if you did, we wanted to know who it was.
We want in on it.
Anybody else?
I hope so.
Come on. That's great. Good
I have a
job.
question for Ron Bass, I guess.
Okay, good.
Wow, I guess.
Oh, Lord.
It's like
Whoa.
What were your impressions of the gimmick you did in WCW, the Desperados? Black Bart?
No, we wasn't the Desperado. We were the Long Riders.
Right, okay, yeah.
That was a good one, and it just fit into our characters, and it was a good deal. I enjoyed it. Mark was a good guy, good partner.
Yes, sir.
And he was one of those that everybody liked in the dressing room. Everybody made life miserable for poor old Bart, but it was a good deal for us. We enjoyed it, had a good run, made a lot of money with it.
This is for Ernest Miller. What are your thoughts on Vince McMahon?
She was in.
Can you repeat that, please?
Your thoughts on Vince McMahon?
I saw her in January.
He's a good businessman. I just leave it at that.
For Kamala.
We're talking about him.
Kamala, are what's your history and your career and stuff, racism in the business? Did you have a lot of that, or did you?
Well, I saw some, but it's just like in any business, and I mean I saw it on both sides, black and white. But it really didn't bother me none because I guess that's something we're gonna deal with every day.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Question for Barry. With Chris Candido's passing last year, any memories of your brief feud with him in '95 that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I just first of all, it was my first big break in WWF, and it was just a pleasure every night in the locker room. I know I'm going to go in there with Chris. I'm not going to get hurt, and I'm going to have a good I emphasize wrestling match. He was my style, and I just enjoyed working with him. I mean, I worked for him almost every night for almost a year. Just on a side note, it's a shame that a guy that young passes, but sometimes following the wrong crowd. I'm a firm believer. My dad's always taught me this, to be a leader and not a follower, especially in the wrestling business.
Dad?
I guess this is for Ernest. What is your relationship?
What do you mean you guess?
Well, this
Maybe some kind of jabron or something. Gosh.
Ernest, this question is for you specifically.
All right.
What is your relationship with Eric Bischoff outside the ring?
Oh, he's a good friend. We still talk from time to time about karate and different things like that.
Is that how you guys met?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is for Paul.
Paul?
Don't freeze.
Barra.
You can call me Percy.
Yeah, call him Percy.
Percy?
Yeah.
Percy?
Percival.
Percival?
Yeah.
Pringle the third.
Ask Mama.
Yeah, I used to manage Jack Hart.
Ask Mama.
Yes. Well, tell us about Jack Hart when you managed
But
him.
that's who he beat.
Who did you beat? Oh, I remember we done the loser thing with Barry down in Florida in '85, where he lost, like 100-something matches.
Not 180.
For real. And he never won a match. It was good.
Yeah,
And,
that's it.
We had, remember the battle royal we had for the Florida Heavyweight Championship? And they kayfabed him and didn't tell him he was going over. And he did not know he was going over until Mike Graham put him over in the middle of the ring during that battle royal. Do you remember that?
Yeah, what happened was Spartan Sports Center in Tampa.
And you didn't know you were going over.
And what happened was the 2 belts were vacated, I think. One, the Southern title went to Hercules Hernandez, I think, or Rick Rude. One of the two. He got that. And the Florida title, I get in there and we're going to have a tournament. So I got to work like 3 times. I worked with Coco Samoa, maybe Jimmy Backlund, something like that. And I'm going, damn, I'm going over twice. I go, what's going on here? I don't know. I don't have a clue. And
he didn't know he was.
I don't know if Percy was. I don't know what's going on. And then finally, it's got like a parentheses up in here. The last match, it says Mike Graham against Jack Hart. I said, okay. I'm still going. Even if it was a rib or not, I didn't put it over at all. I just kept on going with it until Mike came up to me. Give me the finish. New Florida heavyweight champion. My manager, Percy.
But he was classic during that time. We had an announcer, Coach John Heath. And in fact, I recounted the story
With Gordon Soley.
With Gordon Soley.
Yep.
And during while we were doing that losing gimmick with him. And John Heath, we'd done 2 shows. We'd done the Florida Championship Wrestling show. Then he had another show called what? It was syndicated.
Yeah, like.
Well, I don't remember the name of it. Whatever the hell it was. And John Heath was the announcer for that one. So he's standing there with his notes in his hand. The whole show was written on these notes. And he's standing there with his hand, and Barry's going off on one of his promos. He reaches up and snatches John Heath's notes out of his hand and rips them up. The whole television show. There went the TV show. Oh, was he ever hot. And I thought he was going to shoot on me that time.
I'm glad he didn't. Oh, God.
He was tough, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Coach is a wrestler. You should do that.
So what if that happened like with Vince and you ripped up his stuff? What would he do? What would he do?
Well,
Bye-bye career.
I never saw that happen. I've seen him rip other people's shit out. And writers would be in there working their ass off, for days at a time, come in, and I'm sitting in on the booking meetings, and I've seen him go, throw in the trash. Start over again, boys! And he started over again.
I used to see Ron Bass on the NWA Philly shows, and those shows had unbelievable talent from top to bottom. Was that the greatest promotion you worked for, or was it Florida, or what would you say?
Well, you got to back up and look at it. If anybody sat over at these tables and tell you anything about the WWF or the WWE being any other promotion being better than them, they'll be flying to, because the proof's in the pudding. But back in those times, that was when it was getting kicked off big time out of Atlanta. That's when Channel 17 was the strongest down there. That's when everybody got cable. That's when it went. And that was a glory day for sure for the WWC. But the promotion, I always liked Florida. I mean, these guys, anybody that worked Florida, you never got cold. You made good money and you was home every night. So everybody's probably sitting here has probably worked. We'll probably tell you Florida was one of the best areas to work.
For Ron, what was your favorite angle in the WWF, and what led to you leaving?
What led me leaving? Well, I guess the best angle was me and Beefcake.
With the
The
Spurs,
hair,
right?
the Spurs, the hair, the whole 9 yards. That went out, and especially going to talk at success and money wise, by far. That was by far the best one. And for it as retiring, I separated a pec and a delt, and it was going to be surgery. I was 40 years old at the time. They were looking at a year of recovery. So I said, that's it for me. And that's when I quit. And y'all didn't hear from me for a long time, did you?
No. For Barry Horowitz, what's your opinion on Kevin Kelly?
I don't like the guy.
What's the heat stem
He's a
from?
mark and he's a goof.
Huh.
Who's that?
That's it.
Kevin
There's some history here.
I just don't like, I was in the locker room, I don't like the disrespect thing when, been around a lot longer than him, and where's he now? So I don't know, that's all. What's that? No. There's a couple of Kevin Kellys in the business.
Right.
I don't even know if that's his real name, but the real Kevin Kelly, AKA Nails.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about Kevin
You're talking
Kelly.
about Kevin Kelly, the announcer.
Right.
Yeah, don't be getting around that. I don't like Kevin Kelly the Nails because he'll kill me.
You're
He'll choke me to
like
death.
a dumb man.
Yeah. Hey, I was there too.
I was there too.
Green Bay?
Wisconsin.
Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's a shoot, that chokehold.
All right.
It's called the Minnesota Goozle. And they're all noted for it. Rick Rude could do it, Kurt Hennig could do it, Nails could do it, Mike Hawk, they all could do it. Just run. You don't want to get goozled
Right.
by a guy from Minnesota.
Ernest, what led to your departure from WWE?
Well, a couple of things. I didn't like the way they were going with my character at the time. And Vince was looking for the dance to get over. I was looking for more of my karate side to get over. So we kind of disagreed on into what they said. Vince finally said, right now our writers cannot come up with anything to fit their character. So
Right.
I stepped away from it.
Last question is for like Kamala and Percy. When you guys do a lot of Northeast indie feds, what do you think when you see that these guys are like 100 pounds and like 5'5", calling themselves wrestlers?
It's not just there, it's all over the country.
Yep.
Does it make you like upset when you watch it? Like this is what the business come to, or
It's something.
especially like a Ring of Honor when all the guys are like 5'5".
It don't upset me. I believe in everybody doing their thing, even if they're 50 pounds.
Do you think like credibility is lost?
Excuse me?
Do you think like credibility is lost when like the people in the crowd are bigger than the wrestlers?
I think so. It sounds like.
Well, down south it's always been that way.
I know you do a lot.
We got women in the front row. It's always been bigger than the rest of us. Most of them used to drive us around and feed us. Is that right, Barry?
Yes?
So like I know Kamala, you do like a lot of Frank Lemon shows. You work with those ticket sellers on the same shows.
I just done a couple of shows for Frank.
Like, what do you think when you see like these guys who sell tickets just to wrestle on the shows?
Oh, I think that's. I don't know what to think about that. They desperate for wrestling. Yep, sell tickets just to wrestle. It ain't just to wrestle. No paid. I couldn't do that.
They don't get paid either. They sell the X amount of tickets, they get to run the car.
I have a question for Ernest. You were in WCW the last few years. I just want to know like the difference between Bishop and Russo in charge. And what do you think of like Russo putting the belt on himself during that last couple times, like David Arquette and everything else?
You know, he had the pen. Russo was the writer, top writer, so he was able to do what he wanted to do. And at that time, he felt, hey, I want to carry the belt. So, I mean, there's nothing I could say about it because somebody put him in charge. So, but the difference between Eric Bischoff and Russo, I mean, Russo was more into himself a little bit. Eric was more into himself, but he was into himself through the TV show. He wanted to be the king of the hill. So he was into, being the king of the hill, so he wanted the show to do well. But, he just didn't have, a good team.
Okay. This question is for Ron Bass. What are your memories of your feud with Barry Windham in Florida?
I did some interviews last night talking about that very thing, and if I was going to pick anybody out there in the wrestling business that I had to wrestle every night, it would be Barry Windham. I'm talking about a guy that had talent, had the energy. That I knew him, he knew me. That was some of my best memories in the professional business. And like I say, if I had a choice of picking an opponent, it'd be Barry every night.
Kamala,
Yes.
what are your thoughts on Slick?
Slick was a good manager, but not for me. He really didn't fit my character, and I didn't enjoy. Nothing personally against Slick, but I just didn't enjoy working with him. Our character was too much different, and then plus I was a babyface, and I didn't like that either.
Was he kimchi? Slick?
No.
That's a tall kimchi.
The original kimchi was Frank Dalton, right?
Yeah. Well, he was Friday.
Friday.
He was Friday.
That's cool.
I only had one kimchi, and that was
Who was Thursday? Lombardi.
yeah, Lombardi.
Lombardi?
Yeah.
Brawler.
Yeah, the brawler.
Right, remember, Barry used to call him cum cheeks.
I did not.
This is on video.
Oh my God.
You don't think he's not going to watch this either.
That is not true. Other people have, but no.
It'll be on the internet, won't it, boys? Somebody here's going to do it.
Okay.
Not me, Steve.
It was Percy. Cum cheeks. There's a little girl in the front row. Please.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
Percy.
For Percy and Kamala, any memories of the Undertaker feud and the fear of caskets?
Oh, yeah. Yep, I remember when we was preparing for that match. I didn't like it. I didn't like going in the casket because I'm afraid of casket. I'm afraid of silk pillows, hurt dead people, and I didn't want to go in that casket.
When we first talked to him about it, me and James go way back, man, back
Yeah.
1978.
My very first manager in the
So
business.
we have a history. And we were talking about that, and James goes, I ain't going to no casket. Oh, it was so funny. And of course, Wembley Stadium, London, England,
Yeah.
Undertaker versus Kamala, 85,000 people.
Yeah.
85,000 people. And
Pretty
for a
high.
country boy from Mobile, Alabama, and a country boy from Mississippi, you know,
Yeah.
that was a hell of a dream come true. And I
Yeah.
love James to death, and he knows it.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Question for Percy. What are your thoughts on like the Undertaker's WrestleMania streak? A lot of people say he should like put someone over at the end. Do you think he should just keep it undefeated forever?
I do. I'll answer that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like a lot of people say like Randy Orton should have won last year.
Well,
Do you think they should just keep
what
it
it
like
should have,
this?
could have, whatever. It's wrestling, you know. It's whatever. I don't know.
For Barry,
Yep.
thoughts on Lex Luger?
Oh Lord, here we go. Water.
Fresh me up here.
Just Lex, I know him originally.
From the Pringle Dynasty.
Yeah, that's right. And what's really interesting is Jack Hart, which I used to wrestle under, when we do interviews, Percy would be here, I would be here, there would be Rip Oliver, and we just throw Luger in the back for looks. He didn't say nothing, he couldn't do nothing. And, yeah, right. But it's amazing how the years go by, that how he changed and so forth. Not my favorite person in the business. I will say in defense that I'm not just against everything about him, but when I wrestled him in the ring, he was easy in the ring, and he sold for me, and it was a night off with him. I didn't mind that at all. But as a person, no, I just didn't care for him.
Were any of you guys there for the match you had with Bruiser Brody in the cage?
I at Sunrise or Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, I think it was.
Cy was there. I didn't see it. I just
Heard about it.
I just heard about. I think yeah, that's it. I was yeah, I could have been. I was on second or third or something. I may have been wrestled Mike Golden that night. Got my shower and left, and I heard about it the next day.
Right.
So I'm sure it was brutal. So
This is Percy.
I hate you.
You like me?
that's on camera too. He said that.
Yeah, he does. I know, but he's lying. You don't hate me.
Okay, ask me.
Only
Only one time. Just one.
Just once.
All you gotta do is one time, and they call you. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah. The girl in the front row.
Exactly. That's why I stopped.
Basically, your WWE career ended with the concrete crypt. Do you think that was a good way for them to end your run there?
Well,
Or could they have done it a better way, sending you out?
they had to do it some way. My health wouldn't allow me to continue on the road on the schedule like I was, so they had to do something with the character, and I had to have emergency surgery, you know, and so it just happened that quick. So they done that kidnap angle with the Dudley Boys, where they kidnapped me and made the Undertaker do the right thing, and that was the first WWF Great American Bash they did, you know, that they started, and they had to have something, and that was something they wanted to go with, that Vince wanted to do, and so we did it. And it wasn't in my contract. My contract still had another year and a half to go, and I got a check every week for the next year and a half after that, so I didn't mind sitting in that concrete. So, but, you know what I mean?
But if you had your choice to end your career there,
Well,
how would you have ended it?
well, first of all, who's sitting sober?
Oh, that's true.
Because I'm not. You never say never in this business.
Right.
And as long as there's an Undertaker and a King, Paul Bear can come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
So they never said the character was dead.
Okay.
A lot of the fans assumed that the character was dead, and they came out, no, yeah, they never said the character was dead. But you never know.
Never say never.
Exactly, never.
What are your thoughts about like to get into the business, quick schemes like with the Tough Enoughs and like the diva searches and all that?
What I think about it?
Do you think like it's
Anybody.
bad for
Oh,
wrestling?
anybody good, you know what I'm saying? Barry?
I think it's crap.
I knew that would.
No, I'm just going by the way I was broken into business.
Right.
I mean, you know, first, I don't know the whole, good for them. I mean, things have changed. But you get limo driven to the building and all this stuff, that's not breaking in. You know what breaking in is? Working in a mattress factory in Florida, 100 degrees after you worked 8 hours, doing squats, Hindu squats, doing your push-ups, and then just learning to lock up for 3 or 4 months. They're spitting them out nowadays. You're broken in 3 months? No. It took me a year and a half, 4 days a week, 3 hours a session. And then in the wintertime in that mattress factory, it was 40 degrees. And I'm getting stretched by Karl Gotch and Malenko and earning my way. And I'm taking backdrops on inch mats that I used to do in high school in amateur wrestling. That's the way you get broken in. Everybody that's in the business should break in Japan for 1 year and do jobs and have some respect. Okay, this is great for these guys. I'm glad. I know it's a new era and stuff, but I still don't believe in that. There's a lot of guys that still go the old school route. But you got the camera on you, and you're driven to the building in a limo and stuff, and you're a star and stuff. It's just ratings. It's just another reality show. I don't agree with it.
You think it hurts wrestling?
Yeah, I think it hurts wrestling. Maybe you would say different, maybe to guys that are 19 or 20 watching it, they think that, hey, that's the new way. But I've spoke to kids in the locker room that are 25 years old, and they want to chain wrestle, and they want to do old school, and they even knock tough enough.
Yep.
It all depends on the situation.
Barry,
But-
let me break in.
Yeah, sure.
Who come
I'm
through
done.
that program that's successful now?
Well, I didn't hear you.
Who's come through that program that's successful now? It's
No
Huh?
one.
Huh?
No one.
Bingo, that's rest your case. It's just like going and getting your college degree and learning what you gotta do,
Yep.
how to be there. And you can be a flash in the pan if you wanna be, and that's what most of them turn out to be, and that's what you're seeing. Only ones that's probably come through that is the divas.
Pretty much in
And
20
they,
years
and,
from
and,
now.
and they're not being judged on their talent.
Like 20 years from now, you won't see those guys doing convention
No,
right now.
no, I don't think so. And you see a lot of that. We're all old school up here, and we were taught when an old timer walked in the dressing room, you went up and you greeted him, you said hey, and you treated him with respect because he
Yeah.
paved the way for you.
Yep.
And some of these guys, I've met Cena. The first time I'd ever met John Cena was at an airport in Tampa, Florida. He come across the airport and met me, and I said, "This is a class act for this kid." And so the people that's come through the hard times, like I know he come up the right way, they're the ones who are going to stick. These flash and pans, they're gone.
Yep, I agree. Hey, I just want to throw in something too, just what Ron said. I was at I don't know if you guys remember this, in Florida, Universal Studios XWF. Jimmy
Hogan's
Hart,
Fest?
Hulk Hogan, Kurt Hennig were there. This was a big whoop-de-doo thing, and we had to be there Monday night for like a meeting to this guy, some billionaire or something in Miami, Florida. He was gonna put Vince out. Right there, I'm like nervous. Right there, that first statement. All right,
That's a statement right there.
that's fine, okay, go ahead, and have a meeting there, and the road warriors are there. There's a lot of good talent there. And they get there, and they're like having a little cocktail party or whatever, and then you have the meeting, and come back the next Tuesday and Wednesday and film. I'll never forget this. This is something quick. You know that kid from Tough Enough, what's his name? Josh, he's an announcer now.
Josh Matthews.
Yeah, I've got Kurt Hennig introducing himself to me and saying hello, but I go back with Kurt. Hulk Hogan introducing me to his son and so forth. Respect factor, and these guys have been working longer than me and everything. But this kid Josh, whatever goofball name is, he can't say hello. He can't say nothing. See, this is what I'm talking about. What Ron was talking about. I'm not talking about everybody in the business, but I'd say 50-50. These guys have no respect whatsoever. And me, I'm pretty easygoing. You go ahead and do that to Bob Orton Jr. or Paul Orndorff. You'd be taking your leg out of their ass. Because they'll do it, and they'll do it hardcore style. I don't agree with some of that stuff. I mean, I've had to assert myself in the ring and so forth, but I don't go to their measures. But I don't agree with that. It's just, I just know, good, bad or not, if I don't like, I still introduce myself to everybody in that locker room. It may take you 15 minutes. There's 20 guys in that locker room. You don't have to kiss ass enough, but just shake their hand. Hey James, how are you? You know what I mean? And nothing's done on purpose, or unless you got major heat with somebody. I don't know. I don't know about that end.
What?
Major heat with somebody. You can't stand somebody.
You never had to eat nobody.
Yeah, I have. Bunch of people.
Tell us.
This next question
The
to Barry
missing link.
Horowitz.
Warrior.
Who do you have heat with, Barry?
Missing link.
Warrior. Luger. Oh, I don't know if they know it or not.
Well, now they do. Go ahead.
Now they do.
You're a warrior, he'll see you, but
It's all right. It's okay.
Percy, you always say he with me.
Yeah.
Dewey Robertson?
No, not too many. Not too many people.
Why'd you have heat with Warrior? Did you
Uh,
work better than him?
that's a given. I'm gonna tell you my main thing.
Yeah.
My main thing. When I first met him, of course he came from Texas. Kerry Von Erich got him in there, if I'm not mistaken. And he's the Dingo Warrior.
Right.
And I was his
Okay.
manager.
And if I'm not mistaken, before that, he was with Sting as the Blade Runners in Louisiana.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're right.
I could be right. Am I right? Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
So, let's see. It was in Kiel Auditorium, that old one. I think, where's the Kiel at? Okay. And I worked with him first match. He was still a Dingo Warrior. They didn't think of taking a shower, blah, blah, blah. He's telling me about his life, about his wife, and I just want to be humble, this, that. Really, I said, this guy's a good guy, you know, great guy. He turned warrior and he started following different peoples in that locker room, making a lot of money and stuff. And he's changed and stuff. But the one thing, he's always in a bad mood and everything, whatever, But didn't know a wrist lock from a wristwatch, and was in Baltimore Civic Arena, TV. I go up for that press slam on TV. I push off his shoulder. It didn't go really well. Well, I'm doing my end.
Right.
You're supposed to be strong, or maybe just look strong. I was in the locker room over here. He's over here. And in that locker room is Davey Boy, Dynamite, and a bunch of other guys. And I hear Warrior say, I heard it. Oh, at the time, I don't know what year that was. Oh, this Horowitz, he's been working 10 years, a piece of shit can't get up for a press slam. Now, under normal circumstances, I'm not a badass, I'm not Rick Steiner or anything like that, I'm not Kurt Angle. I can hold my own, maybe I can. I was this close, I wanted to go in there. But I know what would have happened. First of all, I'd have got jumped. Okay, second of all, the worst thing though, forget about being jumped. I'd have created a problem, they're gonna make an example. I guarantee you Vince would have ended my contract. He's the big superstar. Guarantee I would have got fired or ribbed for the rest of my life or something. So I had to swallow something like that. But I just overheard it, and I don't like it. I don't like it. But yeah, that's why I don't like that. And I don't like guys screaming in restaurants when they don't get their food. Be a professional. Or screaming in airports. Be a pro. You don't see Elvis doing that.
Oh, he's dead.
All right. Bob Hope wouldn't do that.
He's dead too.
Chuck Norris wouldn't do that.
Finally got live.
All right. Thank you, Rod.
Go Brian Knox.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I have a question open to everyone. A lot of fans, including myself, think the WWE product over the last few years is not as good as it's been pretty much ever. What do you think of TNA as a viable alternative?
James?
I don't even watch. I don't even watch. So I don't even know.
Anybody that thinks that TNA is going to replace Vince McMahon is
Saying that
you're smoking
the
dope.
WWE product is stale in a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah.
What do you think of TNA coming up as a potential alternative?
It can't hold a candle with the
No.
WWE. It won't.
I've seen it. My son watches it.
If you're thinking they're going to replace Vince, you're smoking rope, buddy. They ain't got the power. And those guys, they're all
Smoking what?
Smoking rope.
Oh,
It ain't going to happen.
I don't know.
Then in contrast, do you see the WWE changing?
Well, the worst competition WWE has got is themselves. What are they going to do next? I mean, they've been doing it for so many years and have been so successful. I mean, what else are you going to do? I mean, they're their worst competition.
What's that?
WWE, they're the worst competition themselves. How do you keep repeating and going and build it on?
Yeah. Fall off a skyscraper or something.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do next?
There's a question for the open
It's
panel.
Bischoff.
That's Russo.
It's one of the two.
Question for the open panel. What are your thoughts about the way the WWE is handling Eddie Guerrero's death with like the whole entire exploiting it, blowing up his car, saying he's dead, ha ha ha, all that stuff.
It's business. I mean, it's a good angle, and Eddie, I know Eddie well. I know the brothers, and I'm sure that he would have no problem with that. It's business. He was a professional for all his life, and he gave us all this business. He loved this business, and I see no problem with it. How about you guys?
His wife is going to be on the show.
Yeah, on Sunday.
And obviously, she must approve of her, or she
Right.
wouldn't be there.
You did ask her
It's
first.
pretty, and just a side note there, when, if y'all remember a couple months ago, when Michael Hayes done the deal with Edge
Yeah.
in the ring, and he brought up Terry Gordy's name.
With Ray Gordy in the
And
building.
I don't go out of my way to watch the product, and every once in a while I do, you know, I'll listen to the channels, and I just happened to be watching that night when Michael cut that fantastic promo, that it was just out of this world. Black Bart. But anyway,
Breaker.
I got, it really bothered me. Halftime?
There ain't no halftime in arena football.
I tell
Hockey.
you
Oh,
what. No, that's basketball.
Oh,
coach.
basketball.
I'm coaching little guys in basketball. We're 6-0 and we're going into our toughest game. That's what it is.
Well, that's good. But when they brought the Terry Gordy thing, you know, we have, if you know me, you know the history with me and Hayes and Gordy and back then. Well, anyway, long story short, when they started talking about Gordy, you know, made fun of him being dead. Brother Edge just burnt my ass up. And Michael wasn't even out of the ring, and I was on the cell phone calling him. And come to find out, he called me back, and Terry's son was there that night, Ray Gordy.
Yeah.
And Ray gave his approval for them to do that. You know?
I didn't know he had a son.
Oh, yeah.
How old is he?
26.
But you gotta remember
Big
the
like
girls,
Terry.
that's multi-generational wrestlers there.
Big like Terry?
This whole family, they've been into it for years and years, and, I'm sure that, I got no problem with it, I hadn't seen no problem with it.
For Kamala.
Yes.
Kamala, there was rumors, talk that back early in your career that Abdullah the Butcher, when you were in Japan with him, held you back. Is there any truth to that, or?
Oh, yeah.
Just
yeah,
from the
and-
buffet.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. And anybody that's been to Japan and they black, they'll know. Abdullah, I'm the only somebody that I can remember going to Japan, and Abdullah didn't book him there so he can get, 15%, I think it is. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's true. He's been doing it for 30 years. Yeah.
Like
so,
Lula doing with the girls all those years.
Yeah, well, so I remember when I first went to Japan, Abdullah was fired from Japan when I first went there. So Japan called me and asked me to come in. So I went in, and it wasn't long after that, the next couple of times I went in, Abdullah was back. So after Abdullah came back, Abdullah came and got me toward the end of the tour. Took me to Baba, and he said, look, Baba's going to have to cut your pay. I knew what time it was. Abdullah was going to get there. But I told him, I said, nope. I said, look, you pay me what you owe me now, and you don't have to worry about me coming back to Japan no more. And then that was it. That was it. See, all of the black wrestlers will tell you that Abdullah want 15% of your money because, if you go to Japan, that's the only way you could go. But he never got a dime of mine. I didn't care if I never go to Japan again. He wasn't getting a part of mine.
This is Percy. I'm an old school fan, and I know you go back also. How do you feel with the special effects with The Undertaker and the ring collapsing and Randy Orton and Kurt Angle looking terrified? To me, that's like the 6-year-olds. I don't know. I just wonder what your opinion is.
I don't know. You know, I was a part of that for so many years, so I look at it a different way because I was a part of all that stuff. You know, I was there when The Undertaker died and ascended into heaven, and my urn was open and the green smoke come out, and the power of The Undertaker was gone. You know, so I was a part of all that. And when you get the check at the time, it was nice. I liked it. You know, so it continues. My God, there's nobody. Who else has been there for 15 years?
I appreciate
Hey,
it.
as far as the person again, now he's involved. Let me back up. I'm old school big time.
Yeah.
I've
I
seen
used to
this-
watch him.
I've seen this business 30 years.
Me too.
The Undertaker is the best gimmick ever done, period.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Ever
agree with that.
done, period. I don't care who it is or what it was. That is by far the best it's ever done.
Yeah.
It's still hot. It's still drawing money. I got a 12-year-old. It still loves it. I got a 30-year-old and a 12-year-old. They both love the Taker. So that speaks for itself right there.
Absolutely.
He's one of the best big man wrestlers in the business. One of,
And
in my opinion.
nicest guy. And,
Yep.
and just
Yep.
Yep.
Super nice.
He is.
I guess we all like the Taker, all right?
he deserves what he's got.
Bingo.
And,
Bingo.
How about when he turned into the American Badass?
think that was a bad idea.
That's when I was American Fat Ass. You know, they thought about putting a sidecar on the Harley, let me ride down the ring, but I felt like I couldn't fit.
It still worked, but it wasn't the old school taker. When he come back as the old school taker, he was just as hot ever again. But it still worked. People love the taker. That's all. That's the bottom line.
Yep, they do.
My question is for Ernest. What do you think about guys like Shamrock and Dan Severn who did the crossover into wrestling?
You know, I think they did. They found a way to make it work for those guys. They spent a little time there. You know, I wasn't too thrilled about their style of fighting in martial arts anyway. So they was able to fit the entertainment side,
Right.
not the badass side.
Another one for Ernest. Thoughts on Sonny Ono?
I like Sonny Ono. Sonny Ono made a lot of money in Japan. He was a good manager for me. So, you know, I like Sonny Ono.
Any good rib stories?
Sam called.
Okay.
Japanese Sonny Ono.
Sonny blowing up.
Sunday blowing up.
He didn't drink that.
He did.
Oh,
Kissed it.
Do any of you guys have any good rip stories that you guys pulled or were pulled on you?
God, I've been got ripped to death.
never been ripped.
Any poop stories?
I've ribbed, but I'm not going to say them. To this day, I've ribbed. Nobody knows about it. I'm not about to say
Well,
that.
I ain't ribbed it, nobody
I haven't
knows
ribbed
about
anybody
it.
here. Maybe Percy. Just lightly. There's different types of ribs. You know.
Maybe I should tell you now about some toothpaste that you used to use, Barry.
Oh, yeah.
When you were in the ring, somebody put something in it, we watched you brush your teeth with it afterwards.
Probably.
Some kind of bodily fluid.
Oh, God.
Maybe tell you from who? It wasn't me.
Right?
You know that poor kid.
You ain't never been ribbed.
No.
Nobody ribbed you. Except when we put you in the casket after that casket match.
Yeah.
Then we nailed you shut into the casket. You didn't want to be in there in the first place.
Yeah.
We rode you to the back. Vince was standing there going, push him over there. Remember?
Yeah.
And you were in there. All of a sudden, you beat him on the inside. Going out. So we all stood around for a few minutes and watched James beat on the casket going out. But if he wanted to, you probably could have busted boards out, came out on your
Oh,
own.
no, I tried.
Did somebody nail Adam Bomb in a coffin and throw a stink bomb in there or
We've
something?
done that to Ultimate Warrior. We had to run
serious?
with Warrior. Yeah, I've done that on a number of occasions. We'd have the body bag matches and the casket matches.
Okay.
I'd carry those little poppers, keep those in my pocket. You know?
Yeah.
Right as we'd zip him up, I'd take one pop and throw it in the bag with him. He's been kicking this shit. They're over. He's got life in him tonight. Yeah, he sure does. He's putting out of that damn body bag. And I've done that numerous times. Because I had a good relationship with Warrior, and like a lot of people did, because I was his first manager in Texas and shit. We go way back. Anyway,
How come you never managed me? You got everybody else.
I don't
Everybody's
know.
names come up, you managed them.
I managed Black Bart.
Oh, my
That's
Lord.
good. Dad Gummit. I did. Yeah,
Give me a scope.
sure did.
For everybody, favorite person you ever worked with in these days? Wrestling wise.
That's a good one.
You wrestled a lot of people.
I can't say that I have a favorite. I have a lot of favorites. Bret Hart is one of them. He's a real sweetheart. Yeah. So I have a lot of them. But I can say that my least, it would have to be the Warrior.
Really?
I mean, nothing against the Warrior, but he was terrible to work with. But I probably was the same way to him. He was terrible.
Anybody heard his name, Gene Kaninsky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a total nightmare getting in the ring with that. Oh, my God.
No, it's not.
Kelly was worse.
Gene Kaninsky.
Gene, the Gene Kilinsky?
Yeah.
How about you,
Stop
Ernest?
it.
My worst was
He
Scott
just
Norton.
offended you.
Did he?
He said he's not that old.
Scott
He
Norton.
carried his bag for him.
Well, what was his problem?
He carried Tyree Pride's bag.
It just wasn't entertaining. You know, he's just there, just a bully in the ring.
Scott Norton. And who was your favorite?
Ric Flair.
How about you, Barry?
I got a lot of favorites, but you know, and I'm not just saying his name because, you know, his tragic death, but my favorite is probably Owen Hart and Chris Candido. I mean, there's this Ric Flair too, I agree with that. But as far as people I didn't like to work with, I can't. Well, yeah, but that went. It wasn't Warrior. That went quick. His kind of matches, and you're just bumping and stuff. So that really, I don't care about that. It's when you're going 15, 20 minutes with a guy that, you know, can't work, and I'm just trying to.
You want to work out, get in the ring with Ivan Koloff too, by the way.
Wasn't Nails like, you wrestled him? Wasn't he
Who?
like?
Nails? Never wrestled him. He's fine. He's a little stiff, but I tell you, no, I did have a problem with this guy too. I forgot about this in Florida. Tiger Conway Jr.
Oh, Lord.
I had a problem there.
Remember him and Bill Jack's little deal?
Oh yeah.
Sundome?
Yeah,
No,
what you tell?
Sundome. It
No,
was,
Bayfront Center.
Bayfront Center.
After I'm done, we can let Percy. I'll chime in on that. But I didn't. Tiger was pissed because I was getting the Florida title. And my little deal was I wrestled him at the Spartan Sports Center, hit him with a loaded glove. I used to wear a black glove, and he thought he was getting even by you get hit by that glove. If you're a pro and you know your deal, you lay there and sell it. He jumped right. He did a nip up. Well, that's okay. That nip up got his ass fired because what happened was Wahoo seen that. Wahoo not only fired him and praised me, he replayed that whole match and cut out the nip up. Every show. So all it is Jack Hart beating Tiger Conway. But in that match, he got stiff with me. And I didn't really realize it. I really didn't. I mean, it was just a little snug, and Fonzie, the referee, said, he's getting stiff with you and stuff. So I returned it. I gave him receipts back, and it never got into a fist fight or nothing. Nothing like the Bayfront Center with
him and Billy Jack.
Yeah.
And
that was a
and I don't know
that was
what went down, but him and Billy Jack had words and got into it, and Billy Jack beat the whole shit out of him.
He may have said something about Billy's wife. This is hearsay. This isn't a quote. He may have said something, and he got. And I heard. I didn't see it. I worked with Ken to win him that night, or Hector Guerrero, and I think Conway tried to get away, and Billy had him. He ripped a bald spot in his head.
Yes, I remember that.
Right?
Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
punched.
pulled his hair out of his head.
Billy's like, he just punched the hell out of him. And I think Conway went out in the car. I don't know how true this is either. I don't know if he was going out for a gun or what, but I think he took a key or a nail and he keyed Wahoo's vet, if I'm not mistaken.
He also called the police.
He called, yeah.
He called the police on Billy Jack. Billy Jack beat me up, you know, at a wrestling
He had
show.
a spot in his head now, trying to get away. And that was the end of Tiger Conway. Yep. I did see him at Sam Houston Coliseum. Bruce Pritchard wasn't even working for WWF yet. They were just using him. He was from Houston, and he was just there. I guess maybe it was maybe 89. We're sitting in this circle here in this room, and at the time, I was with the company maybe a year. I had a brand new, I don't know if you're familiar with them, suitcase. It's called a Halliburton. They're metal suitcases.
You bought a Halliburton?
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe that.
That can't happen.
You didn't spend no money
It's
for
a
a Halliburton.
$500 suitcase.
No,
It's probably
you didn't
more.
buy it. He didn't buy it.
But I paid
He
$250
spent
for it in
$500 on
Miami.
a car.
Because Dave Hebner introduced me to the salesman and
I
told me
knew
to come
you
to the
were some kind of
hotel
gimmick.
in Miami.
I knew
Anyway,
the hookup somewhere.
so Tiger, I'm not gonna be a mark and spend $600 on a suitcase when I get it for $250.
He don't spend $600 on a car.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, I'm sitting there and Tiger walks in. And he's got no job. He's not doing nothing. Sits next to me. He says, "How's it going?" I said, "Picked up that Halliburton." I said, "I'm doing a lot better than you." And walked out. That's the last time I seen him. Let him hop on.
We're not
Just for a
saying
ride of
Barry's
his life.
cheap or anything. No.
This for Ernest. Ernest, do you think that when WCW went under, that was possible? That a company like that could go under?
I did. I thought it was like, I didn't believe it until I saw Vince McMahon standing in the WCW locker room. You know, it was always rumored that this business going under, you know, about for a year. Yeah, for a year or so. And when it went under, you know, you still didn't believe it until, like I said, Vince McMahon walked into the locker room and announced that he is now the new owner.
What-
Ted Turner can kiss his ass.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Yes.
What do you think the high contract? What brought it to that point? Was it just the
You
contract?
know what? I can't say it was a contract because they had money. I just think it was just the top guys that they spent so many years building, the top guys, and they put a few guys in those positions. Stop working. So they were just wasting time. All those guys sitting home, and people were watching. Yeah, getting money.
Get money.
People were watching TV to see those guys.
There's some guys there that made tremendous money, didn't even go on.
Didn't even go on the road.
I think they signed some football player for 6 months and made $500,000.
And
I don't
they-
think he ever wrestled.
And they probably spent maybe the first 4 or 5 months trying to build this guy into a character that people want to watch. So the show was around this guy. He worked one time, got paid a lot of money, and now they had to go and build somebody else. So
I give credit to Vince. You won't see him do that.
No.
You're going to work for your money. You're not going to sit at home and get paid. I mean, certain things. I mean, you get hurt and so forth, but you're not going to. It's not going to be a free ride. You're not going to just blow money. He's a businessman.
So what did y'all think of Dennis Rodman when he was in there? Being y'all talking about people that brought in.
Dennis was the same weight. I think they paid Dennis Rodman $1 million to work 10 shows. All he had to do was work 10 shows. He got paid up front. He only made it to 3. So they had to sue him to get the money back. Yeah, he only made it to 3 shows, so they had to sue him to get the money back. That's a lot of money just to give up.
That's why it's WWE now.
Yes.
Barry, how was your stint in WCW?
It's great. I loved it there.
Good time.
I loved it. It was I felt very relaxed. I was appreciated by the team. I only talked to Eric Bischoff one time in my life, and it was at Florida Fairgrounds. And he was there, and because he's always busy, I left him alone. He's the boss, and I just thanked him for giving me a contract. He said, "You're welcome," and that was it. And I never, and that was it. I mean, I don't know Eric well at all. He approved my contract, and I had a good time when I was there.
But you hit on something that was good. You felt good. We all felt
Yeah.
good. We had a good time. With
Yeah,
guys
there was-
like Barry, we had a good time working. We enjoyed coming to work.
Brad Armstrong was
Yes.
there, and guys like that, and true workers, true technicians, and it was good. The Nitros and the Thunders, and I got to be a part of it. I did that little gimmick with Flair's kid, David Flair, on a Thunder one night, and that was kind of cool. When they were bringing him in, I don't know if you remember that. I don't know if anybody remembers it. I don't know. I guess. Yeah.
When David was
If
there?
these guys don't remember,
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah, I
remembers.
do. When David Flair was there, yeah.
Yeah. Well, David Flair was learning to wrestle.
Yeah, I know.
And what was going on was they did a little vignette thing where I'm walking back from dressing room. I had my trunks on t-shirt, and I'm walking with Scott Putski.
Yeah. Oh,
He's ticked because he wasn't part of it. He gets all he's got to do is I gotta go. See you later. He's got to leave. He's out of the scene there. Anyway, and Ric Flair calls me over and he says, "Hey, I need you to do a favor tonight." Meanwhile, behind me is Arn Anderson, Dean Malenko, and Chris Benoit, and they're behind me like henchmen, and I'm going, "Yeah, what do you need?" And Flair goes, "I need you to put my son over tonight and make him look good." I said, "I'm not doing that." He says, "No, you're going to do it. Would you want to further your career and stay with this company and make a lot more money and so forth?" And I said, I'm nervous, yeah. And then these guys are getting closer to me. And they said, "Now, so this is what you're going to do, right?" "Yeah." "Okay, well, where are you going now?" I said, "I'll go back to the locker room." "Well, maybe Benoit and Malenko need to escort you back to the locker room." And it blurred to that. Had the match, a good, decent match with David, and I get carried away, and I start hitting him with a couple of moves, and I hit him with a Northern Lights suplex and stuff, and then I start covering him, and I think I'm going to win. I'm just obsessed. So I do the cover, 1, 2, and the horsemen are around the ring. Arn jumps up, "What are you doing?" That look, that was the pantomime. I'm sure the guys, I forgot who was there at the time, the commentators who were putting it over, explaining to him. And they're just saying, "Oh, Ron, that's all right." Anyway, he puts the figure 4 on me, and I actually help him
You asked him this
put it on me. And that's that's what we did with the match.
Nobody asked.
Nobody asked.
All right, then I'm not answering.
Oh, he won't say another word, Rick. I know him so well, he's not gonna answer another damn question. Watch.
Maybe not.
This question is for how bad were the politics in WCW with Eric Bischoff? You're pretty close with him as far as Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, and then you had Hulk Hogan coming to him in one ear and Hall and Nash in the other ear. How did Eric handle that?
I think, I can't say because, I was only there for like 4 years. But I think Eric treated the guys like they were friends too. I don't think he separated himself as like a Vince McMahon.
Do you think that hurt the company?
It did because, just like if you were my friend and you came and asked me for a few dollars or something to do on tonight's show, I'll give you that. Because we're friends. But if I'm your boss and you ask me, now I'm going to send your ass home.
Right.
He said, no, work for it.
Okay.
I'm a big Eddie Guerrero fan. How would you rate him among the all-time greats? For anybody in the panel.
He's certainly up there.
Oh, yeah, the result speaks for itself. Like I say, he was the youngest of 4 brothers. I don't know if y'all knew that. Chavo, Hector, Mondo, and Eddie. And I will say this, he was by far the cream of the crop of the Guerreros. Let's put it that way, too. And he had his head right, and he looked the part, he did the part, and he was out there. And definitely, how long was he on top? Both the WCW and the WWE. It speaks for itself. Anytime you do a decade on top of this business, you're a superstar.
Ernest, there's Chris Canyon has come out that he's gay.
What?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
Did you know that, Ron?
I don't even know who Chris Canyon is. I'm sorry. Who's that?
Mortimus?
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Who is it?
Was there any?
Gay shit? No.
There's no scuttlebutt. No. There was no scuttlebutt back when you knew that was
You
that
know
could
what?
be true. Or?
It was some rumors, but you guys always talk. But I've never seen anything.
Okay.
Did you, Barry? What about the other night, John?
No, I just kissed him on the cheek.
How about you, Percy?
What?
What?
Just one time?
Just one time, Percy.
Come on, Percy.
She's awake now. No,
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to offend that little girl. This is a Christian forum.
That's right.
I'm sorry, never mind.
It's all right.
For Percy, what do you think about the WWE downplaying managers over the last few years?
I guess the TNA's pretty, not total non-stop action. The TNA that I'm talking about is prettier than us boys, I guess. It's whatever they want to see. Of course, I'm prejudiced against the managers, old school managers. And gosh, if he had one of the greatest managers I ever seen, when him and Don Bass were the Bass brothers, Mo Bass. I don't know if y'all heard it back in the 70s.
We're not as old as you,
this lady
Percy,
was
sorry.
fantastic. I know he's gonna get me back somewhere or another. But of course, I'd like to see male managers come back. But who's it gonna be?
Percy, you spoke of, you said TNA, not that TNA, the other TNA. You made a short stint there. A couple of, why did
That's when my health was really bad.
Okay.
And I couldn't fulfill the schedule, so I was there for 3 months, huh? I weighed 525 pounds.
Are you serious?
You didn't know?
No.
Did you know? You better quit eating. You gonna weigh 500. What you got, James?
He's got some crackers.
I'm sorry. Cheese?
525 pounds?
Yeah. I dropped some weight.
I'd say so, but.
Gastric bypass.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I had gastric bypass.
I didn't know that.
Which Vince took care of.
Awesome.
Saved my life.
What does everyone think about steroids in the industry? Do you think it's a necessary evil, or do you think that it really affects wrestling as a whole?
Jane?
Well, I've never been on.
I ain't never
eating cheese and crackers.
He ain't never done no steroids.
Let's address that. Your problem with steroids is the last. You didn't put the last word on abuse, and that's where the problem with that is it's like getting a hook. Once you start, you don't have any pain in your joints, you don't hurt, you don't feel bad. And that's how all these guys get hooked on it and stay on it forever. And that's what'll kill you. It'll kill you dead. But you think football's cleaned it up? You think baseball's cleaned up? No, I got news for you, buddy. Nobody wants to see a 240-pound lineman. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. And as long as people demand to see the size, the strength, and the speed, it's always gonna be out there. Everybody's gonna take the shortcut that they can, and I don't see them cleaning it up. They may. They'll make all kinds of superficial efforts. But the bottom line is abuse. On anything that's out there, abuse is where the problem is.
Okay, we're back, guys. Thanks for that. Appreciate that. We're going to go back to Barry right now. Why? Because you said you weren't going to ask any more questions. What were what were your thoughts on, let's use the word jobbing. What were your thoughts on that? Or your whole career, basically? That's what they said. That's what they're saying. I don't believe it, but they're saying. But I remember you. No, I remember you as with Percy. A lot of
He was a jobber then?
No, it wasn't. A lot of people remember you in your WWE stint, which
Since I've been broken in this business, if I did them or not, first of all, there's got to be a winner, there's got to be a loser, okay? First of all, I don't use the word I hate that word. It's called enhancement. An enhancement match. I don't use it. No, I don't use I've never used that terminology in any interview. I don't believe in that. Whoever does it. And you know what? Everybody's did one. Right. Everybody, there's got to be a winner, there's got to be a loser. You know what? A guy who don't want to do one's a mark. He don't want to create business. Hulk Hogan's did it. Okay? Everybody's did it.
Hey, calm down.
Boy,
He's only just begun.
get some ice. Get
I'm
some
ready to go about an hour Broadway with somebody. Anyway, no, but that's all it's doing. You know what? I could have said, no, I don't want to do this, right? I'll go home. Somebody else will do it and make money. I've seen it done before. But the difference is, of this is how I look at it. If you want to use that terminology, job, you just bounce around and get beat, okay? I put people over. For instance, if I was in there with Shawn Michaels or Ric Flair, I put him over, okay? If I was in there with Warrior, I made him look like he could wrestle. That was my job. That's important. You got to have a guy that you could come up to. I've had Arn Anderson come up to me in Augusta, Georgia. And he asked me, he says, Eric, change the finish here. You got to get Evan Courageous over. Okay? Another one. Can't lace my boots, but that's fine. Okay? Get him over. Okay? He says, Barry, he says, I hate to tell you this. He says, again, they're putting the wrong guy over. This is Arn saying this. He says, but you know what? Think you got to give 30 finishes out that day. And I come in there and I go, what do you need, Arn? Well, I need Dean Malenko over with the Texas Cloverleaf. Figure out the rest. Figure out the rest because I'm a veteran and I could fill in the middle and the beginning and I'm done. 30 seconds. Do you know how much that makes Arn's job so easy? Then the other guy coming in and going, I don't want to put this guy over and you got to use the ropes and you got to go. Hey, you know what? If you want to do that, why don't you stay in the AAU and NCAA? We're in the land of make-believe. Okay? You go to Japan and work shoot style. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I'm done. Get me all riled.
Sorry.
I hate that word, job. I do.
I apologize.
No, it's all right.
No, my family, I apologize. No, I'm just asking.
Enhancement.
Enhancement.
Yeah. That's all.
Okay.
What's the biggest fight you ever seen in the locker room? Anybody?
Oh, wow.
Nails and Vince McMahon.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Elaborate.
Yeah.
You took him down, choked the shit out of him.
That's all there is?
No.
And it was funny how everybody kind of paused because the doors were open.
Oh, really?
Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Right.
Yeah.
Did nails go right to the phone booth or something and call the cops?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But I remember standing looking in the door and seeing Vince on the ground and Nails on top of it with his hands around his throat.
Minnesota choke.
And there's a little, uh-oh.
I want to hear about the stories.
Oh, that's all it is. It's just.
No one helped? Like,
Oh, yeah.
John Nord helped pull them off because those two are best friends. But you're talking Kevin Kelly's a Minnesota State, whatchamacallit, tough man contest winner.
Scott Steiner choked Vince too, right?
Not that I know of.
Yeah,
I never heard that one.
The story was him and his brother wanted to go to Japan. and they wanted to get out of the contract with Vince, and Vince said no.
Sounds. I never heard that. I could see Scott doing it. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'd never heard that. I don't know. I just know nails. You know how you say never in this business? I don't think nails will ever be back.
We're at halftime, boys. I got to pet my team up.
I don't think nails will never be back.
Steve would know.
Yeah?
Steve knows.
Yeah? Oh, about Scott Steiner? Yeah, I don't know. Never heard
I
of
never
that.
heard that either.
I heard it from another guy.
I could picture it happening, though.
This is for Kamala. Kamala, you've been on a couple of where it's wrestling and religion shows. Do you, where they kind of cross it over? You were on one out in Dix Hills in the upper room not too long ago.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the way to go, to mix them like that, or what are your feelings on that?
Yeah, well, I think, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. They, comparing it to what they're doing in other wrestling organizations, like the WWE. So why not?
Anybody?
Yeah, Kamala, what kind of matches did you have with George Animal Steel?
Oh, I had them in cartoonish, but they was good. I had a lot of good matches with it. I enjoyed working with George Steel. Yeah, real easy, a night off.
Nice guy.
Yeah, super nice guy.
Smart.
Yeah.
For Ernest, what do you think about the whole NWO?
I like that idea. I'm a bad guy at heart. So when those guys came out with some of the good storylines and stuff, I really enjoyed that myself.
You think that when they started going to the Red Pack and the Wolf Pack and do you think
It's like we put all the money on one bunch of a few guys, and when those guys start breaking down and having problems, then the business starts going.
Just for everybody, what's your thoughts on superstar Billy Graham?
Great guy. Great guy, great worker. I learned a lot from that man. A nice guy.
Nobody else, Luke?
Yeah, I knew him, but I'll hold comment. Let's put it this way. He couldn't hold some of the other guys. It's better be just leave it alone.
I only knew him in passing. You know, my years in WWF, he'd come to the show now and then. I never knew him.
No, I knew him in the locker room. Real quiet guy, and just.
You knew him at the end of his career when he was the superstar Graham. You're talking about somebody hard to get along with.
Really? Okay, I didn't know him
He
then.
was a tough businessman.
I didn't know him then.
He
was in Florida.
He was all for himself.
Really? Okay, I didn't know. He just treated me nice, and he was night off in the ring.
What about Hulk Hogan?
Huh.
Well, let's put it this way: the wrestling's where it's at now, Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
I mean, Hogan took it where, the sport had always been good, but he took it to the next level. He was a superstar that became more than just a wrestling. He went into the movies, and I mean, you couldn't go nowhere you didn't see Hogan's image, and he was the one that made the kick up without a doubt. And all of us here owe a lot of things to Hulk Hogan. And
super nice guy.
Anybody that's got something against Hogan, I would check them out first. Because Hogan, right reverse the guy I was just talking about, he always knew who you were. He didn't ever get the big head, and he would always, no matter where you were out on the card, if you were just starting, if you was finishing, he had time for you. Hulk Hogan was a class act.
Yeah, I second that.
What do you guys think of Ric Flair?
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Flair,
Yeah.
Flair's phenomenon, and how many people his age still go out there and produce what he does? Most of us here are close to what he is, and we know what it's good to our bodies to do what he does every night. My hat's off to Ric Flair. I mean, when you see Ric Flair, the diamond ring Cadillac man, that's who he is, buddy. On, off, there ain't no off switch.
I never seen that man wear a pair of jeans in his life.
Never.
And I know him since '83,
Never.
Charlotte, North Carolina. I mean, suits always, class act. Class act in the ring, too. He's not going to take no cheap shots on you or anything. He did it all.
Right.
And you know what? I don't watch the product now, but my son does. Flipping maybe a month ago, and he was in there with somebody. He was bumping like a 20-year-old man.
Right.
I don't mean section bumps like Bill Dundee. I mean big bumps, backdrops.
It doesn't need watching this.
He don't build them, they don't have far to fall.
Thank you. Percy, backdrop? But anyway, no, I mean solid bumps.
Yeah.
This man's a true athlete. This man, correct me if I'm wrong, Ron, maybe you noticed, went down in a plane,
Yes.
broke his back in half, takes a year off and comes back.
He was over 300 pounds. He was a power lifter.
Power lifter in Minnesota.
Yes.
The man's, he's a legend.
Right.
He's an icon.
So we like Flair and Hogan, okay?
What about the animal and Hawk?
No problem, huh?
First real gimmick to come along, the paint, the music.
Yep.
Come from a popular movie, the cult. They seized on a time and opportunity and made it happen. And for saying really great talent for in the ring, you couldn't say that. But putting people to seats, big time.
Yep.
I wanted to ask Kamala about his singing. I enjoyed what I heard before.
His
No,
singing?
seriously.
Oh.
You sing?
I didn't know that either.
Turn it on. Let's hear that.
No, do it live. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not like
I
live.
can't sing without music. It's something I started about 3 years ago. I like music.
Good country,
so
right?
I just try. Yeah, I do a little country too.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Little George Strait,
Country
little
song.
Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
All right.
This is Garth Brooks.
Some guy.
Western singer.
All right.
This is the gospel truth. In my car at home at this very moment, I took out a George Jones CD and put in his CD.
Wow.
He came down to Mobile a couple weeks
That's
ago.
a lot.
And he gave me one of his CDs, and I put it in, and it's still there. And you'll be surprised. It's very enjoyable. He really is. He's really talented. He can sing.
Percy's in love with George Jones.
I took out George Jones.
You are too? Okay.
I took out George Jones for Sugar Bear Harris.
You can't take the possum out.
I took the possum out for Sugar Bear.
Oh my.
Sugar Bear. I forgot about that name.
Well, that's a name out of the
But when I managed you, what did I call you?
Ugly Bear.
Ugly. I changed you to Ugly Bear.
Hey, Cat.
Yeah.
How did it feel that time when you was up there dancing back at WCW with the Godfather?
Oh man, I tell you, man, I grew up watching James Brown, and that was the highlight of my, in this career, in this business, man, my life. So I enjoyed it. And it would have never happened, I don't think, if I wasn't in pro wrestling.
Kamala, is it true that you showed the Legion of Doom Road Warriors how to do their paint?
No, I didn't show them how to do their paint. I introduced them to the type of paint that I was using. And that was back in right after they first started.
Who paid you the first time, Kamala?
Who?
Cindy Laughter too.
Really?
Yeah. Kamala.
Huh?
Who paid you first?
Jerry Long. But I did the same.
This is for Ernest Miller. I always enjoyed watching you. I was wondering if you're going to be on TNA or in Japan or what your future plans are.
Right now, I'm doing some karate shows, so I'm in martial arts now. So maybe not.
We had another death this weekend. I don't know if you guys know, like Johnny Grunge. Public Enemy. Part of Public Enemy.
What happened?
They say sleep apnea.
But
Sleep apnea.
Yeah, well, you read into it what the wrestling
Yeah.
way is. You can read into that.
second half of that team now gone.
Who's the other one? I don't even know that.
Rock.
Ted Petty?
Yeah.
Ted Petty, Cheetah Kid.
Yeah, I was on the card with him.
Did you guys? Any of you guys know?
I know Grunge just from WCW, just in passing. Hello, goodbye. And I talked to Rocco more.
What do you think about the ECW style of wrestling?
Did it for 18 years, didn't we? You go to Tennessee, in South Florida, and that's what we did. They just called it a different name, same thing. It's just old school. We did all of our life.
No, for Ron. Ron, I remember back early '80s, I guess it was. Flipping through channels and seeing you guys, Mulligan, Dusty, Wyndham, on a Spanish-speaking station here. And the only thing that was on that I could understand was Florida Championship Wrestling. Who was booking that at that time?
I was Eddie Graham. I was coming out of the Florida office. And Dusty was the booker.
And how fun was it to work? Because it just seemed like
it
was a great show.
That was the premier of Florida Championship at that time. We were doing sellout business everywhere we went. They were scalping tickets, and that was where they were trying to compete, and right when cables were all starting to come out, and that was their alternative to Channel 17 and what Vince was doing, and they were trying to export the product. But there was a lot of good memories, a lot of good money, a lot of good times, and everybody wanted to go to Florida one time or another.
Thoughts on Dusty and Blackjack Mulligan?
Well, made a lot of money with both of them, and Dusty. I was one of Dusty's boys. I guess everybody had it was me and Wyndham and Rotundo and Kevin Sullivan and Angelo Mosca. We were all Dusty's guys, and wherever Dusty went, we went. And we made a lot of money with him, and he took care of me. I can't say nothing that bad about Dusty.
This is for each of y'all up there. If y'all something happened to y'all where y'all would never wrestle again, what would be the one match that you think y'all would be remembered by? Like Piper's always remembered by hitting Snooker with the coconut. Snooker always on top of the, Andre the Giant's shoulders. What match do you think y'all would always be remembered by?
Well, different areas, everybody has different things. If you go to Florida, myself and Barry in a saddle, or up here in the WWE, it would be me and Beefcake and the Hairman.
Okay. I would be remembered by a match that Andre and I had back in around 1983 when I body slammed Andre. And there were few people that
Is that when he got crippled?
right after that. There was the same.
There was a
Ernest? Barry?
My match with Skip, the first at Superstar taping where we did that first match.
Skip Young?
No, not Skip Young.
Who?
Chris Candido.
Skip.
I know who you meant.
I didn't know. Did you say Skip?
Yeah, that was the first.
Yeah, when he was the Heavenly Bodies, it was Skip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was Skip and Sonny, the Heavenly Bodies.
Right.
My friend Sonny.
So
I don't think I can pick one match. It would be more of when I was commissioner, when I was interacting in the office with the whole back locker room. So I said when I was commissioner.
Percy, your thoughts on Sonny?
She's a wonderful lady.
tell the truth.
I just did.
Okay. Boy. God.
Buy the orange video when it comes out.
Another what?
What?
Buy my shoot interview I done last night. I'll tell you about it.
Oh, okay.
Everybody hear that? Plug for RF. Probably the shoot he did last night. Anybody else? Come on, somebody. Anybody?
Too soon.
That's Chris Candido's girlfriend.
If that's what you want to call it.
For a long, long
Yeah,
high school.
yeah, that's her.
How do you forget them things?
No, that was his. Get it? That was his girlfriend. No,
I was always a big fan of Ron Bass. I was just wondering what you were doing today.
Tammy Sitch.
I'm sitting here doing interviews.
I mean, generally.
I'm in business in Florida. I'm in the construction, supplying the construction industry in Florida and in Florida. And coach my son, 12-year-old basketball. We're head 16-8 at halftime.
Yeah.
We're 7-0, boys.
Understand that.
This is for Percy. Thoughts on what the Von Erichs went through? I was trying to try to word it. You know, all one death after another. Just
Tragedy, though.
how do you end it? Can't even explain it.
You know, everybody knows, I worked there for, James spent a lot of time there too. I worked there for 6 years, and I was there during most of the deaths, and they were very, very close to me. They're tragedy.
I mean, that's all you say.
There's no other word. I lost a brother. We lost a brother.
David was a heck of a kid. I like that David.
You know, you talk about their demons and everything. Basically, they had families just like we did. We had kids, and they were somebody's. It's tragic. Tragic. You know.
Yeah, as tragic as it was, and you seem like you're disturbed by it, which most of us, allow. Do you think it was wrong that they used a lot of those deaths to sell tickets, which they, they really did. The champions, and every year the parade of champions and the angles
no
they did.
No disrespect to anybody. That's what I want to say. There's none meant here, and I'm not taking up for anybody. But what's the difference? What Fritz did then than what Vince is doing right now with the Guerreros and everywhere else?
Nothing, but it's wrong now. That was wrong then, right?
Well, who said it was wrong now? I didn't hear anybody say it was wrong.
We
then.
agreed we agreed that their family said it was okay, or they wouldn't be doing it. So Fritz was their daddy. And the mama
But
was
you got
there.
something else to remember too, you got other guys on that card that depend on making a living too, guys. You got other wrestlers that's got families that need to be paid too. And, you know, you can be callous and say, hey, you know, or holier than thou and say, hey, you shouldn't have done that, but business is business.
And, you know, and I think this, I'm sure there's some folks in here that have lost a child. Anybody that's lost a child, you know, or a grandchild. I buried my grandson 2 years ago. And to stand there and watch my son and his wife bury their child, you know, I just don't think that the Lord intends you to bury your children. And for Fritz Von Erich to bury 5 of his 6 sons, my God, you know, there's no words to describe that. Not only did Fritz lose 5 children, he lost his business, he lost his wife, and eventually lost his life to cancer, brain cancer. After all those years, it's a tragedy. There's no other word.
Percy, I have a question for you. I was a big fan of Chris Adams. You worked with him a lot back in World Class. How do you feel about his death and how he didn't really become as big a star as maybe a lot of people thought he could have been because he had a ton of talent?
I want to just talk from my perspective and my relationship with Chris. I never had a problem with Chris, and I thought he was a great talent. And
was he the English guy?
Yeah.
He's dead?
Yeah.
Yep.
His roommate shot him.
Yep. Arguing.
What?
In an argument. Yeah.
Drinking.
Drinking. Boom.
Oh my word.
A couple of years ago.
And then, you know, then you got to think of the Gino Hernandez stuff. And just, there's so many guys that are gone. So many of our brothers that are gone. The list is just endless. We talked about this in private earlier. We did, or out in the lot. Same subject. You know, there's so many.
Why do you think he never became a bigger star than he was? He had the look,
Stay where he was at.
Talent too.
It was just timing, you know. Vince, he had a couple of tryouts with Vince. You know, they tried him out a couple of times.
I'm surprised he had the look to be like a pushed babyface.
It never worked out. I think at that time, you know,
You gotta have somebody behind you to get you started, to get the door really open for you, and he must not have that.
right time, right place, right everything.
You just gotta be lucky.
It just wasn't there.
All right. What was the weirdest thing that they ever asked y'all to do during your career? Like, you know.
Most bizarre thing they ever asked you to do.
You've had this
I got buried in concrete. I dug up Undertaker's mom and daddy. Set them on fire. My bones on fire. Horrible thing. Oh, yeah.
Can't touch that chemical.
One of the weirdest things they asked me to do back when I first started, but I enjoyed it. You know, I do all kind of crazy things now. I'll do anything. But anyway, they had me calling Percy here boss, and I would bring him a big cake. He was supposed to buy me a new Cadillac. This was back in 1978 when I first started. So every week on television, he'd come to the TV, he'd bring me a hubcap. This time,
one piece at a time.
Yeah, one piece at a time. He would bring me a piece of a star wheel or something like that. And then I think it was his birthday or something like that. And I had a big cake for him. And I come out and I had on this big cake balls. And it wrote on that balls. And I was just smiling. And I forgot exactly what happened, but they stripped him and Babyface stripped him and he had some pantyhose on. And so I was standing up there with
Paradise Alley, right?
Yeah, I had this big cake that had balls on it. And so I was standing up there laughing at him with my hand over my mouth, and he turned around and caught me. And he took the cake that I bought for him and threw it in my face.
If we only had tapes of that. Gosh, I wish we had videotapes of that stuff. That's just, wouldn't that be great?
Oh, yeah.
And what about the time that, didn't I kick you in the butt or something and embarrassed you and your wife got hot when you got home?
Well, it was my girlfriend. You stop getting on that TV letting that white man do you like
She wasn't smart.
Yeah, she wasn't smart.
Did she not get a gun and chase you across the street in the lumber yard? You spent the night across the street in the woods?
Yeah, it was a logging company. So I went over there and spent the night, but she shot at me.
And I embarrassed you in front of all her friends. Let that big white man embarrass me in front of all her friends. This is a shit. This is a shit. This actually happened.
And then you standing, she was looking me up and down. You standing up there calling them boss.
I got letters from NAACP. I still got a couple of them.
Sure did.
Letters that were sent to the office and it sent to me that Percy Pringle done more damage to the black race, that they built up. I tore down. And this was in 1978. Lord have mercy.
How about you, Barry?
We only have some footage.
Just had to do an angle with Adrian Street in Florida. I don't know if anybody knows Sweet.
You kiss him?
No, I didn't. I think he tried to kiss me or something, but yeah, maybe that's it. And had to do a thing with Steve Kernan. This is only like 5-6 years ago, which I'll never do again. I mean, I'm not worried about it, but was getting fire thrown in my face. It was in the Tampa Armory about 6 years ago, 5 years ago. Yeah.
How about you, Ernest?
I'd rather take a backdrop.
I did so many crazy things, and I just can't. The only one I can really think of right now is when the Great Muda had spit that green stuff in my face. And they
Great Muda?
Yes.
Yeah. Muda did it.
Muda.
Oh, Muda. I thought you said Muda.
No, Muda.
Bad Muda. Like Muda.
Yeah.
Spit, boy.
The Great Muda. I had to take this green.
It's probably
I had to
green.
take this green stuff that was gonna spit in my face. And it was just nasty, It was just. I had to stand there and accept it.
I know my young did. I'm sorry.
Any reactions, good or bad, to the newsletters or the internet websites?
I don't even read it. I don't even know what to talk about on those things. People talk about the dirt sheets. I said, what the heck are you talking about? It's a waste of time. That's just for people that ain't got anything better to do.
No comment.
Sorry.
Nobody else on the?
www.giantkamala.com. Check that one out. I love it.
That's it. You can hear clips.
There ain't no dirt on there. Yeah, you can hear him sing on there.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Check it out.
Soon you'll see him singing.
Yeah, soon you'll see.
Barry, you got a website, don't you?
MrTechnical.info.
Mr. Technical.
That's
Who
right.
named that?
My name.
You?
My name. That's right.
Mr. Technical?
One of the best technical wrestlers alive.
Where, in the bedroom?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Check it right.
I don't know if you guys all still keep up with what's out there right now. Right now, who do you think is the best out there?
Kurt Angle.
What?
Well, Taker and Kurt Angle. Hey.
Best all around?
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Taker?
Yeah.
Yeah, Taker, but after you get past Taker, it's got to be Angle.
I don't even know Kurt Angle at all, just his step, but the man is the total, he's the real total package.
Right.
His interviews, his wrestling ability, the man is a gold medalist at the Olympics. Shoot, I'd be keeping the world title on him until he retired. He should not be beat, ever. He's the man. He can do it all. And I guarantee he can do it in the locker room, all. And anybody can't take him. Maybe in a street fight or something, but you are not going to take him in a wrestling match. There ain't no way. He's adapted quick to the business. Real quick. Quicker than like a Bob Backlund or Dr. Death or, guys like that. What was the guy from Minnesota? Real nice guy. Brad Rangens.
Oh, right.
I mean, all of these are great, but Kurt Angle's taking a step further.
Yeah, he did pick things up really quick.
He picks up just...
Usually you get those type wrestlers,
Right.
we hate getting in the ring with them.
They're 2 left feet. Not Kurt Angle. Even his name is cool. Hey, Kurt, we need to do an angle with you. Okay.
I like Jericho a lot too. I like his work.
Who's that?
Jericho.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you,
Anybody got a question about Jericho, about anything?
Yeah.
I've heard something. I didn't know if it was true or not. I was just curious.
He wants to know Jericho kicked the dog crap out of
Goldberg. So that is true. I thought it was just...
is it true?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You ever hear of her?
No, okay.
In the dressing room?
No, I haven't.
If you guys could work one match or manage one person that you haven't worked with ever, any past, present, or whatever, who would it be? One person that you could work a match with.
Oh, work a match with?
Yeah, one person. But you didn't work with them ever. They could be somebody from the past, or somebody now. You have one choice.
I'd love to work a pay-per-view with Hogan. Are you kidding me? Just get a payday, man. What are you talking about? Let's be smart about this.
Person?
Maybe Gorgeous George, the original Gorgeous George. He just said,
Boy, you left yourself open for that one. Just one time, right?
Yeah, just once. Tiger Conway, maybe. Tiger Conway Jr., don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about senior.
That's right.
Kamala?
Used to somebody that,
You haven't worked with. It could be somebody from the past or somebody who's working right now.
you know, I've been around Ric Flair for a long time, many years, and I never worked with him.
Really?
Yeah, never.
Well, I work with Flair.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I would.
That'd be
Oh, yeah, he's working on this. Like, what would it be then?
Get a couple big chops on you.
Well, if he can leave the chop out.
Oh, really? Leave the chops out?
Yeah.
All right.
How about you, Ernest?
Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, you never,
No, he's just sweet.
Barry?
Kurt Angle, hands down.
Hey, Kamala,
Yes.
how wild do you think it would be if back in your prime with the Wild Samoans, y'all actually were a three-man tag team? How wild do you think that would be of a match?
Oh, I think it would be wild. I think we worked some three.
Y'all did?
I know if that happened.
Never.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
hearing about y'all wrestling against, but never.
No, we worked this tag.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to see a tape of that one.
Yeah.
you're talking about wildness. The Freebird's about as wild as anybody ever lived.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? The Samoans could hold a camera.
Yeah, we worked with those guys too.
You bring in a dead animal in your suitcase and throw it in the restroom and clear it out. What else can be said?
First, you got a Freebird story
Do
first?
I have Freebird stories?
Let's
You
go.
know better.
Just one? Come on, you can't tell us about the RF video again.
Yeah, well, I told a lot of them last night on that.
Give us one?
Gosh.
Where'd they get the rotten animal? What restroom did they get it in?
They picked it up and put it in Buddy's bag.
And Buddy?
Yeah. And the deal is that they were off for a few days and set in Buddy's bag, and Buddy never worked the shit anyway. And he set in his bag for a couple of days. And an old possum, I believe, an old dead possum.
Old possum.
And Buddy didn't sell shit. You know, I've seen Rick Rude, pour his beer out. He'd get out to pee and pour his beer out and pee in his beer. And Buddy sit there and drink his piss right out of his beer. And not selling nothing, just enjoying it. Oh, have another beer on that cooler. You know? But that was the Freebirds. I mean, of course, I have a very, very special relation because me and Michael, most people know, me and Michael, he was from Pensacola, I was from Mobile. We grew up together watching the Basses, you know. We were fans together. We got into business together. We started with James about, that was our first real territory during that time. And Terry Gordy started at the same time, and he was like 17 years old.
Before you go any further, you're talking about there was a talent in Pensacola that you guys probably never heard about, never saw. His name was Ricky Gibson. You remember him?
Oh, absolutely.
That was Robert's bigger brother.
Right.
What a talent that never got a shot. That's one out there could have been a major superstar.
Did he pass away?
No, he got in that accident. He's okay, still alive.
Okay.
But he was, what a talent he was. A lot bigger than Robert, and he could do anything.
Percy used to manage the PYTs.
Yeah, Norville Austin and Coco Beware.
Yeah. Norville is still living there.
What's that?
Yeah, Norville's, he was in Pensacola.
Oh, do
Yeah, he's in Pensacola. Yeah.
Anybody else, or we're going to close up shop? I don't know, I guess that's it.
What?
Any more questions?
What?
Go ahead, go. Oh, we got it. Go ahead.
We just want to thank you for all the great memories.
Yes, we do. We want to thank y'all.
And don't forget www.
Boy, you're a whore, ain't you?
DJKamala.com.
Wait till you hear him sing.
Well, come on, Kamala.
You're a whore.
Can't keep living this way. You keep holding me back. You're a liar and a cheater. Can't live like that. Keep holding me back. That's my intro song. You hear it on the There's a lot more where that came from.
Let's thank Outlaw Ron Bass, Percy Pringle, the third, Kamala Uganda Giant, the winner, Barry Horowitz.
Mr. Technical.
Mr. Technical.
Oh, Mr. Technical. All
Winners
right.
from Global GT, whatever.